So if they tell me, oh, I fell asleep, I say, well, why was your finger twitching?
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. Yo, man. Well, Miss Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. We are live here in Pennsylvania, PA. Well, it's live, but it's going to come out at 10 p.m. tonight. It's 8:18 right now in the morning, but we started at 7:30. So, yeah, because I'm doing this afterwards. That's how it's done here. So check me out, rustydiamond.net, popuphealing.net, hypnosisisgreat.com. And it's time for me to bring on my special guest. And my special guest is right here and right now. And my special guest is Mark Stubbles. Are you up at 3 in the morning? What are you doing at 3 in the morning?
I go to bed about 2.
You go to bed at 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do up till 2? Is or
I
like Yeah, go ahead.
Tonight I have a workshop which will last until 1 a.m. and then I will probably watch YouTube videos and play poker until 2,
At
and
the
then
same
I'll go
time?
to bed. Yeah. Yeah, I have like podcasts and things on in the background whilst I'm playing games.
Okay. So can do you talk when you're playing poker? Are you or is it without, I don't know, is there like a voice thing when you're playing poker with these people, or is it just um
No. There's like chat, but there's
oh, okay. So
no
they
voice.
can't they can't hear you then when you're whatever you're
No.
listening to. Okay. All right. Um and so you got workshops going till 1 a.m., which is whatever, 9 9 p.m. I think yeah. I can't add right now. No, that's more than that. I think
It's
that's 8
3 p.m.
8 p.m. over here on the East Coast. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, so okay, so you're doing it for, do you have a lot of people over here, or is there just a lot of people in Western Europe that stay up late at night?
Mostly they're from the UK.
Okay.
Uh, Sometimes they are, yeah, I mean, it's kind of 50-50, 50-50 UK, US, and Canada.
Okay. Um, let's see. So okay, up in Canada too. So, um, do you just do you think you have more of a later night kind of uh crowd, or like how'd you decide on that time? Is it just so that it's kind of like is that kind of when you're at your peak right there where you're just doing really well, you're in your zone?
Well, I'm not really a morning person, but
Oh,
right now I'm not actually in the UK, I'm near Turkey.
oh, okay.
So I'm 4 hours ahead of the UK. So 1
Whoa.
a.m. my time is like 9 p.m. UK time, and about 4 p.m. Eastern time, I think.
Okay, so I was way off. So okay, so you said 5 hours past London.
Mhm.
Okay, so then it will be 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I assume 8 o'clock in the morning, you're also still sleeping is when this episode will come out your time tomorrow.
Yeah, in the morning I will probably sleep till about 11.
Okay. Is that your normal sleep, or are you more, is it just when you have the workshop nights and then you switch it up, or you Is that your kind of regular?
It's kind of regular because I do the workshops 2 or 3 nights a week. So I've
Okay.
just gotten into that kind of routine now.
All right. So wait. Okay. So now I'm even more trying to figure this out. Okay. So you said it starts at okay, what time did you say it starts at your time?
My time, it'll start at 11 p.m.
Okay, 11 p.m. Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah,
And
it's a crazy thing, but it's so cool. I've talked about this before on some of these podcasts that it's, you have sometimes you do shows at or workshops or and take calls with clients at weird times of the day. But also if it's somebody on the other side of the world, you can get to them instantly. They don't have to fly to you and then stay in a hotel and get a rental car and come to your place. They can just click on their phone and be right there. They can listen to
absolutely,
podcasts too. Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. And technology makes the world a smaller place. And
yeah,
I like the time difference when I'm working in the morning. Like if I'm seeing clients like today, I saw a client at 9:30 her time, which was like 2:30 my time. So that meant I could go to the gym and go to the shop and do all kinds of stuff this morning, and then I don't have to start work until the afternoon. So that's
yeah. So
I like I
is
like
is
the
that
time difference.
yeah, is that your sweet spot in the day though then? That early afternoon, like where you feel like you do your best work?
Yes,
Or
I think early afternoon is that's the my favorite time to work. Yes,
what do you tend to do during that time?
during the sessions.
Or anything, whatever you do at that time, if it varies from day to day, or, is there something that you do more at that time of the day than usual or than other things?
Um, Not really. My days are pretty kind of standard. I tend to see clients, early afternoon, and then in the evenings I will record videos for YouTube and my podcast, um, and then in the night time I do the workshops. So that's pretty much my daily routine.
So when you're making the videos then, are you doing the editing and everything as well?
I have someone that does the editing for me. He's
Beautiful.
he's much better at it than I am.
That's a good person to have right there. I always say that to people. I'm like, if that would be the first thing I would look for is that person. That's a good thing to have. And uh, so then, do you record your workshops then and do anything with them, or is that just for the people that are there for right then, right? Uh,
Sometimes I sometimes I record them and chop them up a bit and put snippets on YouTube and places, but usually it's just for the people that attend. And
okay.
yeah, they pay to attend the workshop, so they probably wouldn't be very happy if I was giving them away for free. Um,
Yeah, it's a good point. Uh,
I used
and oh, go ahead.
I used to do the workshops for free, but I kept getting like hackers and all kinds of issues, so I started charging. So yeah.
Did you say you get hackers?
Yeah, hackers. I had one of my workshops hacked. Someone took over. They were taking over people's, screens and posting all kinds of rubbish on the screen, and yeah, it
Whoa.
was a nightmare.
Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. I've only heard of that like I've never heard a firsthand experience of that. Um, that's fucked up. So they just, yeah, I could imagine if someone, I don't know, because I mean, what you said, I had a certain pictures going through my head of what happened, and yeah, that's messed up. And so, did you have to shut it down right then, or I mean, you couldn't, I guess. I guess they have that. Do you have to go and message everyone? Like, what happens at that point?
Well, in the end, I managed to boot them out of the
Oh, okay.
call. Um, we continued without any interruptions, but it caused an issue for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So,
And so, I mean, I don't know. That could either be really that I don't know. That could be good. And if like in the hypnosis sense, like having something like that happen in the middle of it and then going back after that. Um, so are these workshops for hypnosis students? Or are they for people, just clients, or mixture of
um,
both?
I have several workshops. I have mainly they're centered around inner child healing. So, inner child healing to overcome anxiety, inner child healing to improve relationships. I do have a couple that I target more at people that want to learn hypnosis. I have how to do um, trauma release hypnosis for PTSD and CPTSD, um, and also have a public speaking workshop, improve public speaking with hypnosis. Um, but yeah, generally they are centered around inner child healing and anxiety. And
And
on the workshops, I give a presentation which usually lasts 30 to 40 minutes, and then we do hypnosis for 30 to 40 minutes.
cool. And so, yeah, and I think that's been for my clients. I mean, that's been the things that have been the most helpful to do, and those are usually the ones I like doing more. And yeah, I don't know, because like I've talked about this too before. Like I don't like taking on stop smoking or weight loss ones. And it probably usually goes back to something that would have to be something where they would work with you anyway. Is probably there's something it reason for that that has to do with, healing your inner child of some sort. And yeah, are there any hypnosises that you uh do more, or like you enjoy more of, or ones that you don't do often? Or I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like you, I don't like doing stop smoking or weight loss. Those clients, yeah, they're not always the best to work with.
I
The best
agreed.
clients to work with, or the clients that I find make the quickest progress, and clients that I find most rewarding to work with, people suffering from trauma, people with PTSD, I've had clients who experienced, really traumatic events, explosions, and things. I've been able to help them overcome that, and yeah, that's really rewarding to do. That's
In
what I
what? An hour and a half, something like that, maybe longer.
usually. It takes 3 set. Well, I say usually. I tell clients to sign up for a minimum of 3 sessions. Um, Sessions last an hour and a half to 2 hours. But yeah, most people see an improvement after the first session. But to, get rid of people that just want to come, and because with hypnosis, as you probably know, you have people who want to cut, they'll try, if you're just taking them on per session, then they'll try and fight you. They'll be like, oh, you can't hypnotize me, I'm too clever, or whatever. And
Right.
it's just a nightmare. So I tell them that it's a minimum of 3 sessions.
So what usually goes in, like where would the first one go to, and then where would the second one go to, and where would the third one go to,
Okay,
generally
so
speaking?
if someone, I mean, it depends on the client, but if it's something like PTSD,
Right.
the first session we would target the traumatic memory, and the client doesn't need to experience the memory. They don't need to relive the memory to overcome it, because I use the rewind technique. I don't know if you know of the rewind technique.
Uh, well, you can explain it if you want to. You don't have to, but for yeah, whoever's listening.
Yeah, so the rewind technique is like they're double dissociated from the traumatic memory. So they're watching themselves watch the traumatic memory play out on a crackly old TV screen way off in the distance. So they're not reliving the trauma, they're watching themselves watching the trauma. So they're double dissociated. Um, and yeah, usually,
That's
as I say, most clients are going to experience a notable change in that first session. Um, in the second session, I would ask them what improvements they noticed over the previous week. Where did they notice, things being better? And then I would build on it from there. I would, whatever they came back to me with, if they said, I was feeling a lot calmer, I was feeling a lot happier, but still triggered by this certain smell or this certain sound, then I would, do more to work on that particular trigger. And then the final week would really just be building from there. And as I always tell people, your mind can't tell the difference between a real or an imagined event. So in the sessions, I do a lot of visualization, a lot of future pacing, as it's called in NLP, getting people to visualize themselves the way they want to be. So the third week is usually really more focused on the future.
right. And so then the third day would be uh so okay, that was another question I had. So to jump around a little bit. If so after the first session, do you talk to people, do you not talk to them for a week and then talk to them when they come back, or is there like something you talk to them maybe a day or two later? Do you do like a follow-up message, or do they give them a week to process having it that way? What's kind of your approach?
It depends on it depends on the client. Everyone is different, and I work with the person in front of me. I don't have a kind of strict protocol. I don't say, this is the way it is. But generally, I would I would schedule the next call for a week later, and I wouldn't speak to them between sessions. I would allow them to, as you said, process what took place in the first session.
Okay. And then to switch gears a little bit, have you gotten to incorporate any sort of AI into hypnosis?
I haven't.
You haven't. Do you where do you stand on that? Do you have a certain reason why not, or why, or
If I was creating recordings and downloads and things, I think AI could be used to create scripts, stories, and all kinds of good stuff. I think it could be incorporated very well in that kind of regard. When I work with a client on a one-to-one basis, I, as I said, I work much more with the person that's in front of me, and what they give me to work with. So the sessions I do a lot of talking therapy. I do a lot of kind of Ericksonian type stuff. I look to find resources, within them, things that they can use moving forward, and I build the hypnosis session around them. So I don't, use scripts or anything like that when I'm doing one-to-one therapy, and I think that's the only benefit I can see of AI would
right?
be to do that.
But if you could enter your client's information into a prompt where you would be able to give the best, uh, let's say theoretically, you could write you up a script for each individual client with the information you give it being in your tone and your voice and whatever, and then have it be able to come out with these outcomes, have them give this kind of experience because they really enjoy doing this, something like that. Would that be something that you would be interested in? And
Not
have it just
really.
not really, okay. Because
I think with one-to-one therapy, it's more important to be present with the client, to allow the client to be seen and heard, and to be there and be present with them. And if you are, using AI or something like that, I think it would detract from what I offer them in that presence regard.
yeah. Uh and I mean so then this is something too. Have you had listened to a hypnosis recording and not been into it because you weren't into the person saying it, or because it just didn't connect with you at all? Like I don't know, there's some recordings I hear and it's very hard to really connect with it, and like can't really get into it. But I mean, it's kind of, everyone has a different style, and find the hypnotist that works with you. Do you ever hear anything like that and you don't, yeah, really connect with it? Or
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, it's like music. Everyone has a different style.
Yeah.
certain, there's certain styles that work better for some people than others. So, yeah, there have been times when I've listened to recordings before and thought, I don't like, I don't like this, or I don't like what's uh, what's going on there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Uh, so do you ever do recordings then? Do you have any hypnosis recordings?
I do have a few. I have a few on my YouTube channel, and I have a few for download on my website. My most popular YouTube recording is a PTSD one to overcome trauma, and again, that uses the rewind technique. My second most popular one is overcome a fear of blushing,
Of what?
and I also, as I said, I sell them on my website, and I have courses on Udemy. I have about 6 courses on Udemy, and they also have recordings in them.
Okay. So how does the recording work for the PTSD? Um, does it I don't like I don't know, because I feel that like when they're seeing it, seeing them seeing it again, uh, is there just like a certain time that you have allotted for that, and then you go into the part after they've processed through everything with the screen, and then uh, do you just kind of know that time? Uh, Is yeah, sorry, it's a weird question, but maybe hypnotist could answer it.
Yeah, I mean, some people would do that kind of work with, they would say, let me know when you've gotten to the end, nod your head or twitch a finger or something to let me know you've reached the end. I
Yeah.
just like give them a couple of minutes, and then I
Okay.
tell them they've gotten to the end.
Yeah. You got it. They better they better have gotten it by then. And yeah, that's cool. I was wondering that. And there's I don't know, there's a lot with hypnosis that's just uh still crazy and wild and fun. And did you was hypnosis anything on your radar when you got into hypnosis, or did you just sort of fall into it or gradually get into it?
I got into hypnosis because of my own issues. I'd always suffered with anxiety. I'd had a number of relationship problems, and I reached the point where I thought, I need to do something about this. I need to make some changes here, and I had a lot of crazy stuff going on in my life at the time. I didn't want to go to counseling and talk about my problems. So I just started listening to hypnosis recordings. Um, I found that really beneficial. I started to feel calmer, feel more relaxed, overcome my anxiety issues. And then had a couple of one-to-one sessions. Um, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, career-wise. Because of my anxiety, I had just been working online. I'd been doing online marketing, um, SEO on a kind of freelance basis, and I isolated myself. So I used a hypnosis recording to help me decide what I was going to do, and I decided, well, I'm going to do this. So
Okay.
so that was how I got into it.
Okay. And so do you uh is one of the selling points of some of the hypnosis that they don't have to talk about it, that they can just do it all in their minds? Like I tell people that with the uh when I'm working with them with the PTSD, I just tell them like, look, you don't have to say, I don't have to know anything about what's going on. You just tell me when you're good to go and we'll go forward from there. You can see whatever you want. If you want to talk about it and I'll guide you along anymore, like we can do that too. I don't really care either way, but if you just want to do it all in your head, you can do it all in your head. I'm just sort of leading the way. And I love that selling point. Like that's great for anyone.
Absolutely, I work with people exactly the same way. I think it can be better if they can talk a little bit about it.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, in terms of PTSD, certainly I don't ask people to tell me anything they're not comfortable telling me about.
Right.
And this is, the benefit of hypnosis as opposed to counseling. When you constantly talk about an event, replaying it in your mind, you're rewiring those neural pathways, you're keeping the negative memories live in your mind. Whereas with hypnosis, because you don't have to talk about it, you know, you don't
Right.
have to relive the event. You're able to release the negative emotions that are related.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're able to tell that story on a non-filtered, with your conscious mind, like the unfiltered story of what really happened. Whereas if you're talking with a therapist, you have kind of still a little bit of a filter on there of what you're going to say, and you're not able to just get to the root of what's happening right there. Maybe you do on your first session, but if you're under, I don't like saying under, if you're in hypnosis, then you're able to get there right away, or within a half hour, 45 minutes, and you're there. Yeah, I mean, I
Absolutely.
guess, yeah.
And memories change every time you access them, and memories change depending on your emotional state when you're in that, when you recall that memory. So if you
Yeah.
recall a troublesome memory when you're nice and relaxed and calm, it has less negative impact on you than if you recall it when you're upset. And
Right. When else are they gonna be that relaxed?
uh,
Why not that time, like, to go process it? Yeah, there's no better way to do it, and I don't know if there is a better way to do it. I would like to know what it is, because I don't know a better way to do it than this, and this is it's a way to be able to help someone like that fast, like get them on their way to healing in an hour and a half, and then yeah, like I like the what you do with the extra couple, uh, because the follow up from that is very important. The um on the PTSD, it's very important to kind of check in and see how everything's progressing. 'Cause there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things being processed, and you can. I mean, they got a lot of rest too. Like a lot of um, just so much adrenaline always going and always being stuck in the fight or flight mode for so long to kind of let go of some of that. Like they're gonna have to rest. They're gonna need some time to, let that kind of go. And yeah, and there's a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts, and but each time each time they see you, they're gonna be feeling better. And that's great. Like, fuck yeah.
absolutely. And the more a person takes time to relax, the easier it becomes to relax. With
Yeah.
a regular relaxation practice, they start to feel calmer, less emotionally dysregulated.
Right. And yeah, it's the whole fucking everything you can need. Just I don't know. I thought it was so fake. I thought hypnosis was so fake until I started, until like first day I went in, first time I got hypnotized, and then I said, okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm happy I'm wrong. I am so happy I'm wrong. And yeah, it's cool. And then yeah, then I started realizing about the realizing how well the PTSD one does and how much of an impact that can have on someone in that small of a frame of time and how much that can change their life just right there and something that a lot of people wouldn't have even thought of or maybe are too scared to try, but once you go through it, it's it's not going to be as impactful, and like the next time it happens, you're not going to have that same reaction. You have a better reaction every time that happens again, and if you avoid it, it just it's going to come back at you twice as hard, and every time you're still going to have that scared feeling, whereas you can go through and just work right through it. And so, another question I had, do you have clients that are coming in for one PTSD event and then find out that there was an event before that, another PTSD event that they end up discovering then and working through at that point, and then eventually get to the event that they came in for?
Not really, but PTSD, I think, you know, it is pretty widely accepted that PTSD has its roots in childhood. Um, child needs what are known as good enough parents that provide unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. Child needs to know they're going to get their needs met no matter what. Most people don't have good enough parents. It's not the parents' fault. They parent the way they were parented, and they come from generations where things were a lot different. And so, yeah, most people don't have good enough parents. And so most people are looking to their parents to model emotions for them, to see what healthy emotions look like. Um, Parents who are out of touch with their own emotions, parents who have learned to suppress their emotions aren't going to be able to model those emotions for their children. Um, and if you don't have good enough parents, you're quite possibly going to develop complex PTSD. And then when you experience a traumatic memory as an adult, you're not going to be able to process that trauma effectively. So yeah, as a child, that is when, with good enough parents, you learn to process trauma effectively. You learn to process emotions effectively. If you don't get that, then that's trauma as an adult is going to lead to PTSD.
Yeah. And so what what's kind of your way of letting your your client go? Like, they're done with what you do for right now. Uh, like, where do you leave them? Do you like say see you later? Do they like, and after the hypnosis, do you talk to them after, or sometimes I guess kind of a few part question now. Do you have clients that fall asleep and you have to like try to get them to wake up a couple times, or start, you can't I don't know, do something to get them up and or count again, or something, or are they usually just good to go?
I don't think I've ever had a client that fell asleep. I've had clients that tell me they think they fell asleep, but also in hypnosis, I use a lot of kind of idiomotor signals. Like I say, as your unconscious mind is processing that, your finger's gonna twitch, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life? I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better.
Hypnosisisgreat.com.
So if they tell me, "Oh, I fell asleep," I say, "Well, why was your finger twitching then? Why couldn't you? Um, why were you? Why were your eyelids stuck? When I told you to imagine your eyelids stuck down, why were you? Why were your eyelids flickering like you were trying to open them and you couldn't open them?" So I don't get clients telling me that very often. Um, and yeah, I don't think I've ever had anyone fall asleep. If I think someone looks like um, they have fallen asleep, I will say, take a deep breath in for me now, and watch them take a deep breath in, and then I'll know that they're still listening. Um, so yeah, does that answer your question?
It does answer my question. And so, where can people find you to take a deep breath or two with you and work with you?
They can find me on YouTube. My name is Mark Stubbles. They can find me. I have a Facebook group called Inner Child Healing Breaking Free of CPTSD. And my website address is anxietyhypnotherapist.org.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on here. I always like talking with other hypnotists. So, yeah, I really appreciated you being on. And yeah, we'll get you back here at some point. We'll talk some more and do that, like in the spring or
Thank you,
something.
Rusty. Thank you for having me.
You bet, Mark. Have a great rest of your day.
And you, thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's Mark Stubbles. Check him out. There's the links. I'll put them in the notes for the episode, so that's easy. You just have to go and scroll down, whatever you do with your finger, or probably with your finger, you would scroll. So do that, and those links are right there, and you got someone else to work with. You guys have a lot of people to work with listening to these shows. But that's good. You should work with all of them. Uh, yeah. So thanks everyone for listening here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. Check me out, rustydiamond.net, hypnosisgreat.com, and popuphealing.net. And that is the show. Man, boom!
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.